Hello, my name is Timothy Sensov with the Bible Baptist Church of Praise. Today with us is Pastor Julius from Kenya. He's a founder of an orphanage in Kenya, and he's also serves as a pastor over there. Hi, Pastor Julius. It's good to be with you today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so let's begin this by getting to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your childhood, how you were raised, and how you ultimately came to Christ.
Yeah, thank you. I was born on the 11th of September, 1973. I was raised in a rural area in southwest part of Kenya. I'm the fifth born out of seven.
Mm-hmm.
We have seven siblings.
Yeah.
And actually, my mother and my dad were very, very strong Christians. So I grew up in a Christian setup. My dad used to take us to church on the Sunday. We became the Sunday school children, participating very effectively in the church. Then, when I was 19 years of age, I made a personal confession to receive Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. So from there, I started walking with God. In the year 1997, I got married to my wife. 98, we had our firstborn girl. So that was what it is. But when I come back to the childhood, I grew up in a very, very poor community. And I can remember that I got my first shoes when I was 14 years of age. I can remember that we used to sleep in a small house, and there was no blanket. And there are thousands of mosquitoes in the room. So my mom could get out, and there is a special tree. She could go and pluck the branches of the tree, and if she puts on the fire, the smell from the smoke will drive away the mosquitoes. And actually from that we could sleep for about 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and then the mosquitoes will come back again. So it's a long story, but thank God that everything is good.
So after becoming a born-again Christian, what caused you to realize that you want to be a pastor to a community, to the people? And did your church kind of do anything to help you prepare to become a pastor?
Yeah, in 1991, after personal confession to receive Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, I served under the elders. Mm-hmm. And from 1991 to 1999, that is 10 years down the line. Yeah. So serving under the pastors and the elders, they discovered that I had a gift in my life. I could be used so much. Please, Julius, we want you to go to this meeting, go to the cell group, go and organize the youth meeting. So it's something that was in me. And I personally could feel the urge of preaching the gospel. So in 1999, the elders sat down and they said, "We have seen something good in you. Julius, we are sending you out." And they said, "We could not send you before you got married." Mm-hmm. So because I married in 1997, and then they said in 1999, "Now we are sending you out, and we are very proud of you. We know you are gonna make it." So it is a call from God. It is a call from God. I also personally felt the call of God in my heart.
Praise the Lord. Okay, so now let's kind of move to your ministry with the orphanage. So when did you begin to take these steps toward organizing kind of this orphanage? And also, what made you decide to organize an orphanage in the first place? What were some reasons that you decided to take that ministry?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. Remember that I became a pastor from 1999. And me and my wife, we started the orphanage and the school in 2009. That is another 10 years down the line. Mm. It is a call within us because I come from the region, the western part of Kenya, in a county called Homa Bay. Homa Bay, if you go online, you can see, is the most infected with HIV and AIDS in the whole country, in the whole Kenya. So, being that I was serving in the rural area, I could go to people's homes apart from that, being a pastor, most of the church members were dying. And I was seeing by myself, kids are left behind. Or a father is dead and the mother is sick. The mother is left behind with about 7 kids, 5 kids. She is sick, cannot even do anything for the kids. So this kind of situation really touched my heart. And my wife said that, Julius, I am a teacher by profession. I am now employed by the government. I have access to go to the bank and get the loan to come and set up a small structure to bring in the kids, to bring the kids that we actually know they are suffering. And then she told me that we will also talk to some of the church members to contribute the food they have from their homes. We will ask them to bring potatoes, to bring corn, to bring cassava, to bring whatever they have so that we can help them. And then I say to my wife, please, we need to pray about it. Because as we have our kids, and the burden is so big on our shoulder. How are we gonna make it? But she said, faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things that you cannot see. And then my wife boldly, we took a step of faith. She went to the bank and she borrowed $3,500. This is the money that we had. We went and we bought the tin sheets, the new one that we put on top of the roof. But the money was not enough to get us the new ones to put on the walls. So still we went out to the community, to the homes of people who have died with HIV and AIDS, and nobody are there. So we asked the relatives, please, could you sell these old iron sheets on top of the roofs of the people who have died of AIDS? And then they said yes. We gave out some few money. We took those old iron sheets and we covered the walls of the orphanage. So it is a passion, and we learned that it is important to lay down your life for others. I like to lay down my life for others, because me too, Christ laid his life for me. He laid down his life for me. He died on the cross for me. Jesus did not commit any sin, but I did. So it caused our heart, and we started in a very small way. We went to the community, and we went to an old man. His name is Nyandiko. So we went to him. In 2009, he was 105 years of age. He was a very old guy. Then I shared the vision and what we want to do. And he said, yes, my son, I will give you a portion of the land. Mm-hmm. And then the old man offered and 1 acre of land. And that saved the money that my wife got from the bank. So we could only use those money to buy the materials and to start something. And then we started. So still I would wrap it up saying that it is a call from God. Both me and my wife, we had passion for it. We still have passion for it. We want to do it. And that is what we learned that we were created for.
Mm-hmm. So you already touched on how the financial aspect of starting this orphanage, but was there anything else that helped? Were there any other resources or things that you used in order to sustain the orphanage? After you started it with that loan, how did you sustain it and going for years on?
We actually used mostly my wife's salary. And myself also, I was a farmer. In our region, we come from agricultural region. So I continued planting sugar. We call it sugarcane. Mm-hmm. So I planted the sugar, and we could wait for 15 months. We get the harvesting. We could get some good money to help us buying food for 6 months. Help us keep some few money to pay the teachers, to buy some books, to buy some medicine for the children. That is how we started. And I also had a small hardware. I was selling the building materials like cement, these kind of things. So that was the income. It really, really helped us. It really, really helped us.
So the orphanage is not just an orphanage where children reside in, but you also have an educational system, right, as part of the orphanage. How does that work? How does your orphanage kind of work? What's the schedule of the children?
Well, we have a lot of orphans. 80 orphans are living within the orphanage.
80.
80, yes. And we have some, because we have some that goes to the community through the church members. They stay with the church members. They go to their homes and they come to school in the morning. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 small houses that helps the orphan to stay there. And actually those who are staying within the compound, they have very sad story behind them, mm-hmm. especially the girls. Mm-hmm. A girl child is more vulnerable. So maybe I will take time to explain about two stories sure. about the kids. And then I registered, because I registered the same place to become a school. So we offer education. Mm-hmm. We knew that these kids, they have future. They have good dreams. And how can they tap their dreams to come true? They cannot do it by themselves because they are young. They do not have anybody to go to. But we are there to stand for them. So we started that. Within the orphanage, we have the school from kindergarten to 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Yes, to 8th grade. And I can tell you, my brother, that our school is the best performing school in the region. Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's allowed, the orphanage together with the school. That is allowed, and it is officially registered by the government.
And how many teachers do you have teaching 80 children, you said?
No, we have 261.
Oh, 261.
But 80 are orphans that live within.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 80 are living within because we don't have enough space for all of them. Mm-hmm. Most of them are sleeping on the floor. Right. The few who sleeps on the beds, they share beds, 3 kids on each bed. Mm-hmm. And each bed is 2.5 feet by 6. So you see, it's like if you sleep like this, you just have right. to stay that way until tomorrow in the morning.
Right. And so now we come to kind of the broad, maybe even a little bit political question, addressing why are there so many orphans in your community, in the community that you pastor in? You already touched a little bit on HIV, AIDS. You can expand on that and any other factors contributing to that as well?
Yes. The main one is HIV and AIDS. Mm-hmm. The main one is HIV and AIDS. And our region is the most region that is so hard hit by this disease. Another thing that contributes to that is poverty. Mm-hmm. That is the truth. For example, if a woman is a widow, she's left behind with kids. She doesn't have anywhere to work. She doesn't have the salary. She doesn't have anybody to support her. Any man can come, please, yes, I have $1. If you accept to sleep with me, I will give you, I will support you. And then she will decide, oh, I don't have food. My kids are crying. Yes, I will do it so that I get $1 to buy food for the children. So poverty is one of them. Another thing that makes AIDS to spread so fast is the culture, right? Because some African cultures are good and some are not good at all. They say that if a man dies, for example, if you have your brother and your brother dies, left the wife behind, the wife cannot get married to another community. It is the same man within will come up and take the wife. Mm-hmm. So they don't care. Some people don't care whether your brother died from HIV and AIDS. He will just move in, and that is how he will also be infected, go back to his family and infect the family. So you see, so the culture, the poverty, and the HIV and AIDS, those are the main things that make HIV and AIDS to spread very fast.
So now kind of go through us, like if I was the typical orphan, right? If I was the orphan in your orphanage, what does the typical day for an orphan look like? So, you know, when you have, what kind of activities do you have? What are the meals? Like, when do I eat? How many times a day do I eat? And also the education, how does that work entirely? Like, what's kind of a typical scheduled day?
Well, the typical scheduled day is very packed and very busy. Our orphans, they are used to this. They wake up at 5 in the morning, they go to the church, they have a morning devotion for 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most, and then they leave the church, they go to bathroom. I mean to shower, although there is no shower, so they use the containers to get water and they clean themselves. From there, they go to join other school comers, and that is from 7:30. Other kids are coming in, and then they join them. They do the manual work in the morning. They clean the school. They pick the garbage. They do all those kind of things. They make sure that books are in class and things like this. And 8:10, they have to go to class and they start the lessons. So the lessons will go from 8:10 to 10:30. 10:30 is the first break. So they break, and then they get a cup of porridge. Porridge is corn flour mixed with water, boiled together, no salt, no sugar. They take that as the breakfast. And then 11, they get back to class. And then they break at 12:30 for lunch. So for lunch, we have 2 hours from 12:30 to 2 p.m. So in between, for those who have to go home, they have to walk home, get food home, and walk to school. So it is a 2 hours lunch break. So, and then they start their classes from 2 p.m. up to 3:30. 3:30, there is games time. So they go to the field and they play, they do whatever they can do. And then that is 4:30. Those who leaves for home, they walk home. Those who stays, they go and wash their clothes. They go to the kitchen, they prepare food. That is what it is. So you asked about the food. The food is, I don't know how to describe it because I've been around, but I've never seen a food similar to the food that we have in Africa. Okay, we have the corn flour. The corn flour is boiled with water, as I said before, and that one you can eat it with spinach. If you have some fish, you can eat that. If you have cabbage, you can eat with it. It's just a food, but not diet. But mainly, it is one food per day. Yeah.
What is kind of the goal of your orphanage, and how does someone graduate it?
My vision is the child. I want to see a child that will realize her dreams. I want to see a child that will be productive for the community in future. I will just live for a period of time, but I would love to see a community with people who are God-fearing, with people who have skills, with people who have good education. So in our school, we provide education from kindergarten to 8th grade. From 8th grade, they are supposed to go to high school. This week, we have the national exams taking place in the whole country. So our kids, 17 of them are sitting for that national exams. So they will qualify to join high schools the first week of January next year. So I would love to see them going to high school because they are very smart. They are very intelligent. I would love to see them going to high schools. After high school, they will take 4 years in high school, and they will be selected to join universities. Some will join some other colleges. I would like to see a changed community. I would like to see a community that is self-reliant, a community that can tap the resources that we have and be self-independent. But this can only happen to the young kids who are educated, because education, for sure, is the only key or tool to change the world. I would not love to see our kids are beggars or coming to other Western world and saying, please, we don't have this, as I do now. I don't think if this is the right thing to be done for the new ones. They need to be self-reliant, and that one can happen when they get their education.
Currently today, what are the greatest needs for the orphanage? What are some changes or some upgrades that you want to make to the orphanage system to make it work more efficient to fulfill that goal that you just said, so that children will be able to get an education and so the community would be pretty much restored and self-reliant? So what are some needs that you have right now to kind of make this orphanage work to fulfill your purpose?
The main objectives that we have is a safe surrounding for the children. I would love to see these beautiful children studying in good classrooms, better than what they have now. I would love to see them, I would love to see them having a good dormitory. The dormitories that we have now, my dear brother, the roof is made of tin sheets, and the wall. They are very hot. As you know, our weather is somehow hostile. They are very hot. I would like to give them the good dormitories, good classroom. Kitchen is not there. They cook under the tree, just under the tree. During the rainy season, it is a nightmare. They can't even cook because it's raining and there is no kitchen. I would love to see them get good food. I would love to see them feel that they are not disadvantaged. They are also normal human beings. They are good people, just like any other person. But well, not everyone can get high education. Not everyone. There are some who are very skillful to become carpenters, mechanics, plumbing. Some can be electricians. So all these ones, we have colleges, the lower colleges and the high colleges. Once we discover that this child is good at this, we should give them that opportunity to go and get themselves trained. So the main things or the main need that we need now are good classrooms, the dormitory, the library, the kitchen, food, clothes, and medicine. I have a boy. He's now sitting for the national exams, the final national exams. His name is Collins. Collins, the father and the mother, died of HIV and AIDS. The grandmother also died a long time ago. So Colin has his grandfather. The grandfather is 85 years of age, very weak and very sick. So Collins, they have a donkey at home. So Collins, he dropped out of school and he was using the donkey to go and fetch water from the rivers, coming and selling it to the people in their homes and asking for a very, very small money. If there is no money, if you have some food, you will give him. And then one day, the grandparent died. And he was so much in pain. Who is going to take care of me? And then he heard about me. Because I'm a pastor, so he heard about me. And then the boy came. to the gate of the orphanage. It was in the morning. I came from home with my wife, and he was sitting like this. And when he saw me, he started crying. I didn't know him. And then I get out of my old car. I went and asked him, hey, how are you? What is your name? And he was so much emotional. He could not answer me. And then I hold his hands, and I walked with him right inside the office. And I gave him time. I hold him on my chest like this. And he cried, and then later he cooled down. And he started telling me, now I lost my parents. My grandfather has died. I have nowhere to go. Please, should you let me in? And then I asked him, Collins, if I let you in, are you sure you will study? Yes, I want to study. I know I will study. And then, what would you like to become in future? I think I would like to become an engineer. I would like to drive my car instead of riding a donkey. And that really stuck in my heart. I was somehow emotional, and I hold him and I said, okay, you have to stay here. I also have another girl called Scovia. Scovia, the father abandoned the mother. The father was HIV/AIDS, and when he realized that he's positive, he left. Nobody knew where he went to. So the mother became very sick. Scovia at 9 years, the young girl could walk from home to home, asking for food to come and feed the sick mother. So one evening, while the girl was walking and it was late, getting dark, somebody met the girl and abused her so seriously. The following days, Scovia, she didn't go home. She just cried and ran and ran and ran to us. So when she came that evening to school, I was not there, but some kids were there. The person who is taking care of the kids was also there, and then she slept there. And then the following day, they called me. I came. It was horrible. Just a 9-year girl is raped and damaged. So there was no treatment for this. The fluids were coming out. She could not hold the fluid normally, so I had to buy the sanitary towels to help her. But last year when I was here, I shared the story of Scovia. And 2 people were so much touched. And when I went back, they sent some money, and I took the girl to the hospital. And the problem is fixed. The other guys said, please, I would like to help Scovia. And then I said, thank you so much, brother. Someone has already taken care of her. Most of the girls we rescue from early marriage. Because there is nobody to marry them. At 12, 13 years, 14 years, they accept to go with people. And some have women already. Yes. So at 13 years old, is being married to a 50 years old, 60 years old, and is going to become the third wife or the fourth wife. So we rescue this kind of people, this kind of girls to come back to school. Some do not even have the sanitary towels. They use the dirty clothes to cover themselves during the period. So it's so sad story somehow, but we thank God that we are there and we are praying. I can tell you, if you come to our orphanage at 5 in the morning, you will see the kids are praying, crying to God, and they are praying, reading the Bible. It's amazing, yeah. So those are part of the stories, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that kind of your testimony and you kind of coming as a first-person representative of the community that you serve, coming out here and kind of sharing will hopefully kind of inspire people to help these children kind of firsthand. And that's kind of the goal of this interview, is to kind of let people know that, you know, there are these children in third world countries and they're real, they exist, and it's difficult for them, and you know, we all have an opportunity to kind of help these children. Thank you very much for coming here and sharing.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm very much grateful, and thank you guys. Let's pray, hoping that God will do something about all this.
Praise
God
the Lord.
bless you. So,
Thank you.
pray. Yes, guys, I would like to ask you, humbling, asking you if you'd like to sponsor a child. Yes, that would be really, really good, and the child will feel that I have somebody, I have a parent somewhere in the United States of America, and it is possible for you to sponsor a child by $30 a month. $30 will help your child to get books, to get medicine, to get uniform, to buy her food, to buy pens, and all these kind of basic needs. I'm asking you kindly that if you are touched with this, please sponsor one child. We are working on a website with other brothers, and we will show you which link will you go and pick the child that you can sponsor. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see you becoming a father or a mother of a child in Africa. And God bless you so much. God bless you for your support. Amen.